So you've got two more on this topic. I'll read them both. You said you get recessions, you have stock market declines. If you don't understand that's going to happen, then you're not ready, you won't do well in markets. You also said people who succeed in the stock market also accept periodic losses, setbacks, and unexpected occurrences. How important is it for the average, I hate the term average investor, for the typical investor to go into this business understanding there's no way to dance around these things. They're going to take place. You're gonna have to live through them. Would you say that's the one of the paramount things? Because that's what I think.
Well, the point is, what if somebody has 3 children about to start college in 2 years? They shouldn't be in the stock market.
That's right.
They should be in the money market fund. But it depends. If you've got your house, paid down your mortgage, then you can invest. And it's been a great place to be since, year 1900.
Yeah. One of the more timeless things that you've said, and it comes off as sarcastic, but I think the last 15 years have really proven the value of this idea. Coming out of the great financial crisis, the most in vogue style of investing was macroeconomic hedge funds, because there were a small handful of people who determined that the housing crisis would ultimately bring about a recession. And those people were revered for a couple of years. You've never really been big on trying to outguess everyone else on the economy. And you said, if you spend more than 13 minutes analyzing economic and market forecasts, you've wasted 10 minutes. I still quote you to this day when clients call up and they want to talk about the latest labor report or what the Fed's going to do. Tell us, how long did it take you to figure that out? And how much pushback did you get when you said it from people that were economists or focused on the macro?
Well, I don't remember if Fidelity ever had an economist. So we just buy stocks. And
she's here tonight. Okay. So
I'd love to get next year's Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
I'd pay at least $5 for next year's Wall Street Journal. Know that, and hands off to the people who did The Big Short. I had no idea how bad the housing market was, how bad people had second mortgages, they had home improvement loans, they were underwater in their house. I had no idea. Hats off to them.
Yeah.
But I look at facts, like what's happened to debt, credit card debt. You can get that now. What's happened to savings rate? What's happened to employment? I'd love to know what's happened in the future. I've been hoping I could get that in the last 81 years. It's not available. So I just deal with what's now, what's happened to used car prices, what's happened to the price of oil. And you look at industries that have gone from miserable to getting better, like Chrysler. I mean, I remember people says, "Gee, you were really good on that show, but how can you possibly recommend Chrysler?" It's gone bankrupt. Well, they had $2 billion in cash, and they had enough money for the next 3 years. They weren't going bankrupt. So I think the best stocks I had, I think if 100 people did work on it, 99 would say that's better than I expected. So I use this for one of our great friends, Joel Tillinghast. I wrote a foreword to his book, and I always said the person that wins the most, turns out the most rocks, wins the game. And I said, Joel Tillinghast is a great geologist, because if you look at 10 stocks, you probably find one that's mispriced.
Yeah.
Look at 20, you'll find 2. Look at 40, you'll find 4. And that's what we've been doing at Fidelity. We just don't look, we look at everything.
Yeah. So you're not discounting the value of economic data.
Oh, that'd be great.
You're saying if it's not from the future, the market already understands this.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know facts right now.
Yeah.
That's important.
You said behind every stock is a company, find out what it's doing. Some of the great stories about your big investment success involve hands-on observations that you had been able to make, living your real life, being in a supermarket, being in a shopping mall, looking at what people are doing. I think that over the years, that idea has kind of been mischaracterized as if you use the product, it's automatically a good stock, which is not what you meant at all. Could you explain the difference between those two ideas and why that's so important?
Well, a lot of people, I met so many nice people earlier tonight, and a lot of them had read my book, One Up on Wall Street, and I had this story about, I had a great investment. My largest position was in Hanes that had these pantyhose called legs. They weren't that sheer, they really fit, but most pantyhose are being sold in fancy department stores. This was at the supermarkets.
Yeah.
And people go to a supermarket once a week, they go to a fancy store once every couple of months. My wife went a little more often, but and I went with her. So this was an incredible success. But then a larger company called Kaiser Roth put the thing right next to it. And it was called No Nonsense pantyhose. So I went to 2 different stores, about 65 different pairs of No Nonsense pantyhose.
Now, what kind of look did you get from the clerk in the process of that activity?
Yeah. It was an odd purchase, but I spread it over 3 stores. But I gave it out to everybody at Fidelity.
Yeah.
I said, give me some feedback on this. They said, it's not that good.
Okay.
It's not that good.
Okay. So.
And the other one, the first stock I bought in Magellan was Taco Bell. And I had to say I own this myself. Is it okay?
Who was clapping for Taco Bell? It's not one of my people, was it? Okay.
And so I said, can I buy some stock that I own myself? I said, sure. You just can't sell it after you buy it. You have to hold on. So that's when we had Ma Bell and all these Bell companies. And so I called the trading room. I said, I want to buy Taco Bell. They said, what is Taco Bell? And I explained what a taco was. They're only in Southern California.
Yeah.
They're going to Central California. I didn't get a burrito supreme, but I explained what a taco was. Because it's basically a taco has very little meat, a lot of protein. You can sell a really good meal for a low price. And I got robbed on it because Pepsi-Cola bought Pizza Hut, and they bought some Kentucky Fried Chicken. They bought Taco Bell to sell Pepsi.
Right.
This stock would have gone to 500.
Yeah.
My largest position was 18. They bought it at 30.
Okay.
Would have gone to 500, 600. But they bought it to sell Pepsi.
When Chipotle came along, did you avail yourself of the opportunity?
I did. But how I miss Starbucks, I don't get that. Because I own Dunkin' Donuts. How did I miss Starbucks? I mean,
you missed Starbucks.
Brain cramping. I didn't buy it. Well.
Okay. You've got some great quotes about portfolio management, and here are a few of them. You said, in the long run, a portfolio of well-chosen stocks and or mutual funds can outperform the most sophisticated investment strategy. I think there's a cottage industry today, and probably there has been for a long time, of people selling complexity to investors.
Right.
It's one of the best sellers on Wall Street. Just that simple statement, I think, very much is something that most of us would associate with Fidelity, and very much is something that we would associate with you. Why do people need to hear that message today?
What's funny, earlier on, I met maybe 100 people to chat with them, and somebody's in the audience, they shovel chicken poop, and they use the word rhymes with hit. Is the person here with the chicken poop in New Jersey? And
waving at the top, you won't be able to see.
Okay.
Congrats.
But he decided to be a serious investor, do hard work. He said he's done extremely well.
Yeah. So do you think that that's still possible today, given how armed to the teeth professional investors are with data and tools and high frequency access? Is it still possible to be someone who, just on a part-time basis, when they get home from work, reads about stocks and makes decisions? You still believe in that? Well,
I'll tell you a story personally. My daughters get me an iPod. This is before the iPhone.
Yep.
And the PC business was terrible. They're selling for $800, $900, making $20. They had a decent balance sheet. The iPod was $200, and they're making $150 on it.
Yeah.
The iPod financed the iPhone. You just did some work. And the company had $300 million in cash.
This is Apple in
Apple.
2001-ish.
I'm not sure.
Right, okay.
But things change. Companies are dynamic. Something comes along, and things go from terrible, or we use a term more appropriate, crappy to semi-crappy, to better to terrific.
Yeah.
Something happened at Apple. And they were now going to make a lot of money. I had no idea. I have a phone on me, an iPhone, but I had no idea what's falling. But the stock easily was a triple, just on that alone.
This is one of your more famous quotes and made famous by being re-quoted by Warren Buffett. You said, selling your winners and holding your losers is like cutting the flowers and watering the weeds.
Yep.
That's a great one. That's an all-time.
Yeah.
You were known to hold on to winners for a very long period of time.
Yep.
A lot of people were quick to take profits so they could say, I won.
Yep. Yep.
Tell us the Warren Buffett connection to that quote and why it's meaningful.
I don't know how I got my landline, but I got this call. Annie, I think it was like 7, our middle daughter, says there's a Warren Buffett on the phone here.
What year do you think this is, if you could remember? Or what era is this?
I don't know.
Who knows?
It was way beyond the dark ages. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. But so I pick up the phone. This is Warren Buffett from Omaha, Nebraska. My annual report's due in 2 weeks. I love your quote. Can I use it? This is all in about 3 seconds. This is, what's the quote? He says, getting rid of your winners and holding your losers is like, wiring the weeds and cutting the flowers. I said, it's yours.
Yeah.
I said, if you don't come to Omaha and see me, your name will be mud in Nebraska.
Did you do it?
Oh, yeah, many times.
You built a relationship with Warren.
Played bridge together. He's the best. I mean, imagine, he bought Apple like 8 years after I was that iPod story and made fivefold.
Yes.
And he had a huge position at IBM. It was going down. He says, I love stocks going down. I think IBM's great. He totally reversed. He got the hell out of IBM.
Yeah.
He's the best.